aura is gone. She steadies herself and rises again, her eyes filled with determination. Uncle Ben bows his head and thanks Yueji for showing mercy to Yue Ling. Yueji looks at Yue Ling and tells her that just as there are laws in this country, there are rules within their clan that must be respected. He says he cannot and will not break those rules lightly, not even for her. But after a moment of pause, he raises his hand and summons a small glowing plaque. He tells her that this is his personal secret plaque, an item of rare authority, and with it, she will be permitted to comprehend the Enlightenment stele. He extends it toward her. Yue Ling's eyes widen as she reaches out to take it with both hands. Relief washes over her face, and for the first time in a while, a gentle smile appears. She finally holds the ticket to what she's been chasing, a chance to comprehend the stele and break past her limits. After some time, Uncle Ben enters Yueji's chamber carrying the divine soul flowers and the flame talent spirit grass. He tells Yueji that Yue Ling sent someone to deliver the items personally, fulfilling her promise. Yueji nods and instructs him to place them on the table. As Uncle Ben carefully sets the flowers down, he looks at Yueji and asks why he changed his mind about letting Yue Ling approach the Enlightenment stele when he had been so firmly against it before. Yueji dips a spoon into a wooden bucket of water and casually waters a nearby plant as he replies with a faint smile. He says that he admires her stubbornness. It reminds him of himself in his younger days. Meanwhile, deep in the secret realm, Ye Tian is up on a mountain when he spots another spirit plant. With a grin, he yanks it out along with its roots, but in his excitement forgets where he is and tumbles down the slope, landing in a river with a splash. He pulls himself out, soaked and dripping, and activates his spatial talent. Using his pocket inventory, he pulls out the plants he has collected so far and lays them out. Looking them over, he counts each one and grins, thinking about how lucky he's been to find so many spirit flowers in just a few days. The potential profit from these, plus the bonus from selling calamity monster corpses, makes him feel like he's struck gold. Glancing down, he wrinkles his nose as he realizes he smells awful. Remembering Yeyu's nagging, he pulls out clean clothes from his inventory and changes on the spot. Unbeknownst to him, a monster hidden in the distance watches his every move. Ye Tian finishes changing his clothes and stores all the spirit flowers back into his inventory. His stomach lets out a loud growl, reminding him that he hasn't eaten in a while. He grumbles to himself and decides to hunt something edible before continuing his exploration. Just then, a boar-like monster crashes out from the brush, snorting aggressively. Ye Tian stares at it with wide eyes, momentarily startled, but a few minutes later, that same monster is sizzling over a fire, turned into a mouth-watering barbecue. Ye Tian slices off some meat and starts devouring it eagerly, savoring the flavor. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a rat dashes in at lightning speed, snatches a piece of meat from his hand, and bolts off into the forest. Ye Tian freezes for a moment, then shouts in disbelief and jumps up to chase the rat. After a long winding pursuit through the woods, the rat finally stops and begins munching on the stolen meat. Ye Tian crouches in the bushes nearby, glaring at the thief and preparing to strike back. Just as he's about to leap, his system window suddenly pops up with a message. The rat possesses a high-tier treasure-seeking talent. Ye Tian lunges at the rat, hoping to catch it off guard, but the creature is lightning fast. The moment it senses danger, it darts into the forest. Ye Tian watches it go and smirks, saying there's no escape now. He activates his spatial teleportation talent and in a blink, appears right in front of the rat, grabbing it before it can run again. To his surprise, the rat suddenly speaks, yelling at him to let go. From the pitch of the voice, Ye Tian realizes it's a female rat. She squeaks in protest, calling him a pervert for staring at her, and wriggles violently to break free, but it's no use. Ye Tian calmly pulls out his knife and threatens her, telling her to either become his pet or get turned into grilled meat. The rat panics and begs for her life, agreeing to become his pet. Since Ye Tian has already used his copy ability twice and can't copy her treasure hunting talent right now, he chooses to form a soul light contract instead. Once the contract is complete, he names her Little Purple after her vibrant fur. He grins to himself, knowing that purple treasure hunting rats possess apex tier talent, and she will be a valuable asset. As he pets his new companion, Ye Tian recalls what Yue Ling once told him. The most valuable hidden treasure in the entire secret realm is the energy stone mine that the Yun family is after. Ye Tian thinks to himself that even though the Yun family is powerful and influential, he now has a treasure-hunting mouse, so why not try his luck at finding the mine? He asks Little Purple if she knows where the energy stone mine is. The mouse proudly says that she absolutely does, thanks to her apex tier treasure hunting talent, which allows her to pinpoint the exact location. Ye Tian is thrilled and tells her to take him there immediately. Little Purple agrees and climbs onto his arm, ready to lead the way. Ye Tian apologizes in his heart to Yue Ling, remembering how she warned him not to mess with the Yun family, but he knows now that clashing with them is bound to happen. He grins and says he's going to steal everything from right under their noses. With that, he and Little Purple head out, moving swiftly through the forest as she guides him toward the mine. After a while, Little Purple tells Ye Tian that they are close, but she also smells other humans nearby and warns that it's possible the mine has already been taken over. This puts Ye Tian on edge. He quickly uses his spatial talent, spatial sensing, to scout ahead. As he scans the area, he spots several human corpses scattered across the ground. Without wasting time, he activates spatial teleportation and instantly appears near the scene, but he quickly ducks behind a rock to observe the battle. The fight is still raging on. Suddenly, Heliambi unleashes his earth elemental forbidden curse, Rockfall, sending a barrage of massive rocks crashing down on the enemies, wiping them out in an instant. Just as the dust settles, one survivor attempts a sneak attack, but Heliambi counters with Earth Spike, impaling the attacker with brutal precision. Watching all this, Yunfeng grins and praises Heliambi for his impressive skills, saying she can't believe he took out so many Yun family members on his own. She then draws her weapon and, with a spark of excitement in her eyes, declares that it's her turn to have some fun with him. Yunfeng dashes toward Heliambi, declaring that the treasure in his possession rightfully belongs to the Yun family. Heliambi braces for the attack, calmly replying that they'll see if she's strong enough to take it back. He slams his hand on the ground and casts his earth element forbidden spell, King Kong Wall, raising a massive barrier between them. But Yunfeng pulls her sword back and unleashes her technique, Wind-Shattering Slice, cutting through the wall like it was made of paper. Heliambi watches in disbelief as his strongest defense crumbles to rubble. His mind races, trying to understand how she infused her weapon with wind talent and sliced through the King Kong wall so effortlessly. Caught up in his thoughts, he doesn't notice the incoming danger until it's too late. Yunling appears in a blur, her foot smashing into his face with such force that it breaks the sound barrier and launches him backward into a stone wall. Groaning, Heliambi pushes himself up and retaliates with Rockfall, hurling a wave of sharp rock projectiles at Yunfeng. For a moment she's caught off guard, but she regains her footing and shatters the rocks with precise swings of her blade. She smirks and taunts him, asking if that's really all he's got. Heliambi activates his greater earth forbidden spell, Fallen Skies, and a massive boulder begins descending from the sky toward Yunfeng. Her confident expression shifts to shock as she recognizes the danger. In her mind, she quickly identifies it as an apex-tier earth element skill. Without wasting a second, she taps into her speed talent and dashes out of harm's way just in time. Heliambi stares in disbelief, questioning how she managed to dodge such a powerful attack. Yunfeng smirks and tells him it's time he experienced her own forbidden spell, Wind Speech, Pale Blade. She inhales deeply, then lets out a piercing screech that unleashes a torrent of wind blades. The barrage slams into Heliambi, driving him to his knees and forcing him to drop his weapon. Yunfeng lands gracefully and asks if the mineral vein is hidden in the cave behind him. Bloodied and struggling, Heliambi grabs his weapon to support himself as he slowly rises. With fierce determination in his eyes, he says that he spent 10 years searching for that mineral vein and he won't let anyone else take it. Ye Tian watches the fight closely from his hiding spot, his interest piqued by the mention of the mineral vein. He tries using his spatial sensing to locate the mineral vein, but all he detects is a strange forbidden restriction blocking his ability. Back in the battle, Yunfeng laughs after hearing Heliambi claim that he won't let anyone touch the vein. She mocks him, asking if he even has the strength left to defend it. She then pulls out a spiritual energy-enhancing grass and admits that she hadn't planned on using it here. Normally, consuming such a powerful item directly is extremely dangerous and often fatal, but she's so determined to kill him now that she throws caution to the wind. Without hesitation, she bites into the grass and swallows it whole. Ye Tian watches in shock from afar, thinking that she's gone insane. Consuming that kind of spiritual grass raw could easily make someone explode on the spot. As soon as she eats it, the veins on her neck bulge, her eyes begin to glow a fierce pink, and her blood surges uncontrollably through her body. She collapses to the ground, screaming in agony as a beam of light shoots into the sky from her body. Moments later, she rises again, glowing with a powerful pink aura that leaves energy trails from both her body and her sword. Heliambi is gripped with fear as he realizes her cultivation talent has skyrocketed to transcended tier. Yunfeng smirks with new confidence, her expression wild and hungry for battle, as if her fangs are ready to tear through anything in her path. Ye Tian opens his status window and is stunned to confirm that Yunfeng's cultivation talent has truly jumped to the transcendent tier. Yunfeng looks down at Heliambi with a wicked smile and says she might consider leaving his corpse in one piece if he gets on his knees and begs for his life. Heliambi's eyes burn with rage as he snaps back, demanding how she dares speak to him that way. He says that even if her talent has improved, it doesn't guarantee victory. He begins forming a powerful spell, but before he can finish, Yunfeng vanishes and reappears beside him in a blink. Her blade flashes multiple times, cutting through him so fast he doesn't even realize he's been struck until blood pours from his mouth and he collapses. Yunfeng coolly stands over him and says her current stats include a high-tier speed talent combined with an apex-tier wind talent, and that he completely underestimated the power boost she just received. She mocks him, calling him a washed-up genius whose battle instincts have dulled, nothing more than trash from the once proud Helion family. Struggling to lift his head, Heliambi says that all cultivators walk a path filled with rivals, and that even if she defeats him today, one day she'll be nothing more than a stepping stone for someone even stronger. Yunfeng narrows her eyes and tells him to shut up. He lost, and losers have no right to speak such delusional words. She also mentions that the Yun family is the strongest in the entire Demon Sea base, with even a monarch rank expert among them. She says that in the face of absolute strength, there are no real enemies. With that, she heads into the cave to search for the mineral veins. Outside, Heliambi lies battered and bleeding, staring up at the sky as he wonders if this is how his journey ends. Just then, Yetian appears and asks if he's okay. Heliambi is surprised to see him and asks who he is, but Yetian replies that it doesn't matter and offers him a potion. Heliambi says it's useless, as Yunfeng's last attack shattered his internal organs and his time is running out. He then asks Yetian if he's here for the mine as well, and Yetian confirms it. Heliambi chuckles and says at least Yetian is honest. When Yetian asks about the mine, Heliambi explains that if it were an ordinary ore cave, he would have mined it long ago. He says this cave has an apex-tier calamity beast guarding the vitality stone ore, and that the beast has tunneled the cave full of passages to confuse intruders. Anyone who enters is bound to get lost unless they have a purple treasure hunting rat, which possesses a rare talent for tracking hidden treasures. He says such rats are incredibly rare, and that he searched the secret realm for the past 10 years and still hasn't found one. Yetian shows him Little Purple and asks if this is the kind of rat he was talking about. Heliambi's eyes widen in shock as he coughs up blood and stares at the purple rat. He can't believe Yetian not only found one but also managed to tame it and form a soul contract. Little Purple hops onto Heliambi's knee and lets out a soft squeak. Heliambi looks at the rat with a faint smile and says he never imagined he'd actually see one before his death. He slowly reaches out a trembling hand toward the rat and says it feels foolish now, realizing he spent 10 years in the secret realm chasing a dream that someone else accomplished by chance. Just as his fingers are about to touch the rat, Heliambi exhales one final breath. His body goes still and lifeless, and in his last fleeting thought, he reflects bitterly that fate has truly made a fool out of him. Yunfeng walks deeper into the cave, carefully exploring the winding paths. She comes across a wall riddled with holes, each leading to a different tunnel. Surprised by how many there are, she mutters that this place is like a maze, then picks a tunnel at random and heads in. Meanwhile, Yetian quietly buries Heliambi beneath the rubble and places his weapon upright in the ground as a makeshift tombstone. Back inside, Yunfeng reaches another tunnel, confused by how the cave seems to twist endlessly. Just then, the ground beneath her feet cracks open, and a massive worm-like monster bursts out, lunging to swallow her whole. She manages to leap out of the way just in time, landing a short distance away and staring in shock at the towering creature. She realizes it's a top-tier predator, something that was never mentioned in any of the intelligence reports. The monster starts to charge a powerful energy beam, and a thunderous sound echoes through the cave. Outside, Yetian hears it and smirks, saying it looks like the fight has already begun. He thanks the Yun family for holding the beast off for him, then turns to Little Purple and says that everything depends on her now. The rat hops off his shoulder and begins sniffing around, darting back and forth as she starts to search for the real entrance hidden somewhere in the maze. Yetian figures the maze of caves must be interfering with Little Purple's senses too. But after a short while, she perks up and tells him she's found the real entrance. She leads him toward a river, and Yetian realizes the network of tunnels was just a clever trick to mislead intruders. The true entrance is hidden in what looks like an ordinary pool of water. He mutters that without the purple treasure-hunting rat, he would have definitely been fooled. Kneeling beside the water, he checks it and tells Little Purple that there's nothing wrong with it. Without wasting time, the two of them dive in and begin exploring the pool. As they swim deeper, Yetian finally spots it, a hidden tunnel carved into the rock at the bottom of the pool, and immediately heads into it. Yunfeng feels completely powerless, standing before the monstrous beast. No matter how fiercely she fights back, her strength simply isn't enough to match its overwhelming power. Realizing she has no other choice, she reaches into her storage ring and pulls out a monarch rank magic tool, her last and only hope. With fierce determination, she launches another attack, aiming to make the beast taste the power of a monarch's weapon. With the every ounce of energy she's got left inside her, she manages to activate the monarch magical tool somehow, piercing that nasty monster with this pillar of condensed energy. Let's switch the perspective to our boy, who senses the collapse of the mine. The wave of energy he just felt is so strong that it couldn't possibly belong to that girl from the Yun family. Nonetheless, he activates his speed talent and flashes out of the place to get his hands on the treasure he's been searching for, before things get even crazier. Meanwhile, that giant monster has been pierced through and through, with no strength left to stay upright. As for the lady, her condition doesn't seem much better than the monster's either. She's barely hanging on, with no idea if she'll even survive to fulfill her purpose. Back underwater, Ye Tian finally spots something that makes his eyes widen with surprise and excitement. He sees the vitality stones, huge, glowing, and scattered all over the mine.